Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate my colleagues and staff's attention as I go through what I consider to be a very special sharing time and announcement. I'll ask dear Alicia to come up here and join me for a moment here. And I've already brought the box of Kleenex for you, so you can hold the Kleenex.
They're really for you.
Yeah. All right. So Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3 is a pretty special verse of the Bible for me. There's a time and a place for everything. 3:4 is particularly pertinent for today, where it says there's a time to weep, and there's a time to laugh, there's a time to mourn, and there's a time to dance. And when we have a colleague, a part of the family, who has an opportunity to go spread their wings and fly like an eagle, I say that is exactly the proper time to acknowledge that there's some sadness to weep. Also acknowledge that the laughter that goes with that, those kinds of accomplishments are those of support and encouragement. Mourning a loss, and also dancing with joy for what the future holds. So, dear Alicia, we are all here, and me, to tell you that we are excited for your next adventure. But let me just talk a little bit about your background first. Step up a little bit so I can look at you and also talk into the microphone. This is a tribute that I'll give to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It does go through some of your background. Alicia is a Jackson native. She only lives about 3.5 miles from me. And on occasion, we actually ride together, commute back and forth to Lansing. One of us practices to an extreme the art of listening, the other to extreme the art of talking. I will leave that up to you to determine which one you think qualifies for me and for her. She and I first met while she was the government affairs person for Michigan International Speedway. She was an aggressive, snotty government affairs person there that was very in your face, looking always for handouts. It's just a typical, She didn't quite know how to handle me because I wasn't in favor of any of that stuff. And then one day she asked me to say the prayer at MIS for one of the race starts, and I was happy to do so. What she didn't tell me was it was going to be on national TV. I arrived with 3 days of unshaven beard and a Hawaiian shirt because I thought it was just going to be with the drivers. And she still, at that time, didn't have enough grace to go find a substitute and force me to be on national TV and deliver the invocation that day. I've never quite forgiven her for that, although I got back at her a bit, because the same day, she had scheduled this gorgeous, cute group of ladies, young ladies, tuned up to sing the national anthem. And they were very good. But what she told me to do was just move to the side of them after the invocation so the cameras could pan in on the ladies. And they did. What she didn't tell me, though, is don't sing. And as it turns out, I was louder than the girls were. And so I got her back because she was very mad at me for that exchange. I think most of you, if you've worked with Alicia, understand that she has a rather unique vocabulary. Sometimes she reaches to the visceral level of her being, and I'm certain that most of that education occurred on a certain racetrack infield that she spent a fair amount of time on. She has been a partner, a consigliere, a confidant, never mendacious. I could always count on her being gut-level honest with me, even when it hurt. She has been a butt kicker for me, not of me. Well, actually, on occasion, she has been a butt kicker of me, but for the most part, I've sent her out to do some butt kicking. A problem solver, a very fast learner, a load carrier I know of few people who carry the kind of load on a day-to-day basis that she's demonstrated to me over the last few years. She's been a good cop and bad cop when we have exchanged that with one another. She is absolutely a leader. She is quick to critique when it's appropriate and quick to encourage when it's appropriate. She's part of our family. We have a big family here. We each have our own small families here. She's part of our family, big and small. And over the years, she's also become part of my own personal family as well. Sometimes my work mate, spouse, sometimes my daughter. And that I can't express to you how much I appreciate our relationship and how it's grown over the years. Proverbs 27:17 is also an important verse for me. That's where iron sharpens iron and people sharpen others. And Alisha, you have been my iron more than once. Some of us, none of us, are irreplaceable. Some of us may be unforgettable. And I guarantee you, Alisha, that you challenge both of those statements. You're going to be hard to replace. Some define character as the etching of one's soul. And I just wish upon all of you listening to this that you have the blessing of having somebody around you that can help etch your soul like Alisha's etched mine. So far, I've done pretty good not crying. So, Mr. President, I would ask you to ask the guests and the members in this chamber and all of the staff to help me recognize, acknowledge a superior member and team member of the Michigan Senate and an outstanding representative and advocate for the citizens of Michigan.
Will all senators, guests, and staff please rise?
Mr. President, through you to the good secretary, I would ask that most of my remarks be recorded in the journal.
Without objection, we will figure that out.